Hey, what's good, everybody? Happy New Year's. I'm just going to go ahead and do a video, to talk about, how to build a starter studio, because there's a lot of you guys out there that are not really certain of where to start, and you're on a tight budget. I've been there, and I just want to talk about like how I would approach, this topic, and I'm hoping that this would help somebody else out there. Um, I want to give a shout out to my shipmate AC1 Morris because we had a conversation today, which is actually what inspired me to do this video. And because her husband, is actually, he's a vocal artist and whatnot. And I was telling her that basically I like to help people build their starter studios. They can record themselves at home, and if they need somebody to to mix, master, and whatnot, then they can go ahead and just shoot me their files and go from there. So let's go ahead and talk about this right quick. So the places where I source my gear from, eBay, Sweetwater, American Musical, Zounds, Amazon. you know Everything I need, I can get it from right there. Now here's the thing: Sweetwater, American Musical, and Zounds, I've been using them for years for my actual professional audio gear. And the thing that drew me to them is the fact that, you can, just go ahead and get gear and do a pay as you go type of plan, right? A lot of the stuff they have, you don't even have to do a credit check as long as you got a valid credit card, and you've been in good standing with them, you don't burn them, you're not going to have any issues, right? Um, you know, eBay and Amazon, hey, they, you could use like for eBay, they got like PayPal credit or something like that. Amazon, what is the name of that other app? Anyway, there's another app. There's all sorts of like lending services and stuff like that if you don't have the cash on hand, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, I recommend save your money, budget for it. Don't put yourself in debt unnecessary, especially, if you're on a tight budget. Don't put yourself in debt unnecessary. Just set the money aside, because it's real easy to get out of hand with this. All right. So, eBay, when you're purchasing anything off of eBay, I'm gonna tell you, pay attention to the seller's ratings, pay attention to the descriptions on their website, and for the things that I'm talking about, as far as like, especially for when it comes to the computer, try to get a warranty. If it offers a warranty, get a warranty. Reach out to the seller, find out, hey, like, what guarantees do I have that I'm not going to have any problems with this with this laptop, or with this iMac or Mac Mini. All right, so speaking of Mac Minis, right? So this is like the starting point. Like, if you already have a mouse and a keyboard, right? I would say, hey, go with a Mac Mini. Stick with the model. I would definitely say stick with that, the 2018 model. And the reason being is because as of this recording, the operating systems that it'll take up to the current operating system, bottom line. You're not limited to like, the cutoff is at, say, Monterey. Okay. And you don't want to get something that's so old where you can't upgrade the latest operating system and be able to install whatever software that you need down the line. Okay. But yeah, you got your Mac Mini. The other thing you can do too, if you want a laptop, MacBook Pro, at least a 2017, right? So this one, the 2017 model will take up to the current operating system as of this recording. iMacs, if you want to spend a little bit more, get the iMac. The iMac is going to give you the most ability to expand. You're not limited to the storage, the onboard storage, meaning you can actually open up those iMacs and you can upgrade RAM, you can upgrade the internal hard drive to solid states and whatnot. But bottom line is, like, these got solid states, like, 32 gigs. What does this one say? I'm sorry. Yeah. That's the RAM. Okay, up to 64 gigs. But this particular Mac Mini, you know what? Tell you what, whenever you have a question, let's go ahead and segue into everymac.com. Okay, so if you are wondering about a Mac that you're looking at, so let's say the Mac Mini, right? And what model was that Mac Mini we were looking at? I think that was a 2018. Okay. Any Mac that you get for Pro Audio, you're going to want to use an i7 processor. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know, don't even mess around with a i5. God, stay away from an i3. Okay, you are doing audio, and you're going to be very limited. You know, they're capable processors, but you're going to be very limited. So, I use every Mac to be able to look at and double check the specs on anything that I'm looking at getting. I've purchased quite a few Macs. As a matter of fact, all but my very first MacBook Pro have been secondhand used Macs. I've only bought one MacBook Pro, and that was back in 2010, and it cost me like $2,500, and it wasn't even like the top of the line. It was pretty capable, but it wasn't like the top of the line. You know, but after that, you know, since they are so well built, I just said bump it. You know, as long as I can get myself a good refurb or a good used one, you know, I'll keep it pushing. So when you want to look at the specs on them, like one of the things we want to look at is you want to see, like, is the operating system being supported? See right here, pre-installed, you know, with 10.14, the maximum is current, you know, so that means it'll take the current operating system, right? What you don't want to do is get one that's so old. Let's take this, you know, 2014 model, right? You don't want to get one that is so old that, like this one here, see it says Monterey. You know, so maximum Mac OS that it will support is Monterey. Now, you're going to see some videos out there on YouTube about, oh, you can, you know, do these hacks in order to be able to, you know, install the operating system, you know, that the up to the latest operating system, stuff like that. If you're not tech savvy, that's not for you. You know, you're going to have to jump through some hoops and stuff like that in order to get it to work. And then you're only good up until the latest update. You know, the next time you know that, you know, something has to be updated or there's a patch to the operating system. So I wouldn't, if you're not tech savvy, I wouldn't even mess with it. So let's go back in here again and let's look at, let's say MacBook Pros, right? So that MacBook Pro that we were looking at was, I believe, a 2017 model. Okay. 2017 model, you want to go down to, let's see, here we go, 2017 13-inch i7. We don't want the i7, we want the 15-inch because it's going to give us more cores. All right, so you got right here, so you got the 2017 model 2.9, 2017 i7 2.8. Okay, let's look at this 2.8, right? So 2017 MacBook Pro, this is going to be very capable, and your operating system that it will support, yeah, unfortunately this one here stops at Ventura. Okay, so I'm running Ventura right now on mine. Okay, I got a 2019 MacBook Pro and also 2019 iMac, and I run Ventura on both of them. I'm running the latest version of Pro Tools, the latest version of, you know, all my plugins and everything. No problems, right? So, but my Macs will support the next, you know, up to the latest version of the operating system, you know, so I have a little bit more longevity and I'm not stuck. If you were to get this MacBook Pro, it will be plenty capable. It will run everything that is out today, but there's no guarantees in terms of later on down the line. Let's say, 2-3 years later on down the line, there's some more software that comes out and whatnot, and they will no longer support Ventura. Might run on Ventura, but it might be glitchy or whatnot. And because they won't support it, well, guess what? You're kind of out of luck. All right. So let's go back to MacBook Pros, and that's what I was saying here. Let's see here. What year is that MacBook Pro? Yeah, that one says 2017. Okay, you know what? So then let's go back to every Mac, okay? And let's look at the 2017 MacBook Pros. And this is the reason why we're going through this exercise, because you want to make certain that you're getting what you need. And there's so much stuff that's out there, it can be pretty confusing. So let's see. Let's look at this MacBook Pro. That's a 2017 model, right? It's the 3.1. And we'll scroll down here. That one says Ventura as well. It maxes out at Ventura. I'm just curious to know, is there a 2017 model that is not going to be stuck? Let's see here. Now we went into 2018. Yeah, so these are your 15 inches. These three here are your 15 inches. Okay, yeah, Ventura. So, like I said, this 2017 MacBook Pro will work with everything, but just keep in mind, Ventura is as far as it goes, right? Now, let's look at the iMacs. A little bit more pricey. However, you get one of these, these 2019 models, you should be good to go as far as the operating system. Okay. Once again, go into everymac.com, check your specs, make sure it's going to take the latest operating system, and then also be mindful of how much storage that these Macs have, because some of them you cannot upgrade the storage. Like the iMac, you can't upgrade the storage, and the MacBook Pro, you can't upgrade those storage. Okay, so you're going to want a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM. The iMac, you can upgrade the storage and the memory, but why even buy is a pain in the rear to upgrade those. Upgrade those, by the way. But I would just get what you need right up front. Make sure it's at a minimum 16 gigs of RAM. Try to get something that's going to have internal storage, solid state drive, at least I would say a half a gig of RAM. So that way you install you'll install all your plugins and your software that you're running. But as far as recording, you're going to record to an external drive. So let's continue on down the line here and talk. Let's see what we're going to go next. So after you get your laptop or your iMac or Mac Mini, you're going to need an audio interface. And being on a budget, right off the rip, I would say for like really good quality, these are going to have some good qualities. The Universal Audio Volts. I got an artist that's out in Vegas, and she's got one, and she actually upgraded from the Scarlett 2i2. I want to say it was like either the second or the third gen, and she loves the sound quality out of this one more than out of that Focusrite Scarlett. Like I said, I don't know. I can't speak on the fourth gen, so I've heard some decent things about the fourth gen, but in regards to the Volt versus the second and third gen, the Volt is going to beat it. Okay. Now the 476p, which is the one on the top left there, $419. So if you can splurge, I would say definitely splurge and get that, because it's going to give you more ins and outs, and it will allow you to It will allow you to play it around a little bit later on down the line with, say for instance, external hardware. If you wanted to get an external compressor or something like that, it'll support you being able to route that in there. Also with more inputs, you can record more simultaneously if you're not using those additional ins and outs. Let's see, the solid state logic SSL 2 Plus Mark II. That's a good unit. I've heard some good things out of that. Black Lion Audio. So here's the thing, right? This company's based out of Chicago, and they got their start in doing like mods to gear and stuff. As a matter of fact, I had what was I running? Oh, I was running the Digi 002, and they upgraded that for me. And I was also running the, what else was I running? Oh, I had a Behringer ADA 8000. It was basically a 4-channel ADD converter, and it gave me gave me additional channels, ins and outs. So they upgraded the clock in it, the audio pathways and everything. That's how they got their start. So now they're breaking out with their own product lines, and this audio interface. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you get this audio interface, this is gonna be, you're gonna expect to get some good quality sound out of it. It's gonna be a good deal. All right. So this is an area where you also want to kind of make sure that you're not skimping on too much. Obviously you got the Volt for $179. That's really cheap, but you only get to record one channel at a time on that one at that price range. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. So these are the other two if you're on a budget. The Zoom H5. The reason why I included that Zoom H5 is because, well, number one, I have one. I absolutely love it because I like to go out and record Foley and stuff like that, just, for making my own sound effects. And the thing I like about it as well is that it's also a USB interface. It will double as a USB interface as well. So if you're really on a budget and you kind of want to have additional functionality, you can get that H5. It's got 2 XLR ports on the bottom of it, supply phantom power, and you can get some pretty decent sound out of that. And obviously you got the 4th gen Focusrite. I did not include the 3rd gen. I saw that it was still out there on sale and everything for a little bit lower price, but just because we had some experience with the 3rd gen and the 2nd gen as opposed to that Volt, that's the reason why I left it off. But the 4th gen, I'm sure that they've made some improvements, so I went on ahead and put it in there. All right, microphones. You're going to need a mic. Okay. I personally own the AT4033. I also personally own the NT1, the Rode NT1. That's the reason why I included those up there. And I've had my Audio-Technica 4033 now since, well, let's just put it this way. It's my 2nd one, and I bought it back in 2000. Oh gosh, is it that old? Yeah, about 2002, 2003, right around that time frame. Okay, it's that old, and it's been working flawlessly. I love it. It sounds, you can get really good sound pretty much across the board. I had a Telefunken AK-47 at one point in time. I sold it because I got more work out of this, and that Telefunken, it has some good sound, but number one, you have to have some really good pre's to drive it, and also, it's not a good sound for everything, for everybody. The 4033 is like it's like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to just recording whatever you need to record, male vocals, female vocals, whatever. It will do a good job. The Rode NT1, nothing but good things I've heard about that. So on a budget, these are some good mics. These would be my go-to recommendations. Now, if you're trying to go a little bit cheaper, right, I would look at the MXL line. I've personally owned the V67G. Okay, not a bad mic. It'll get the job done. Is it the greatest sounding? No, but it's not a bad mic. Um, let's talk headphones. I have both of these headphones. you know, um, I prefer the Bear Dynamics. But even more so, I actually, you see these. These are my Neumanns. These are my faves. I also have Sony's and whatnot, but you're talking about like $500+ compared to 149 and $89 headphones. So budget. On a budget, these are some good headphones. You want to make sure you're getting something that's closed back so that way the sound doesn't bleed into your recordings, and everything. So, all right, studio monitors. I personally own a set of the JBLs. Thank you to my wife because she got it for me for Christmas. I just got these, and I actually run the Mackie HR 824s, the Mark Ones, which I bought back in the day. When I say back in the day, I'm talking about, that was around oh Jesus. Yeah, that was around 2006 when I bought them, and they were $800 a pop. They were not cheap, So, but these JBLs actually sound pretty good, especially for the price, And I asked for it. I wanted this. This was actually on my gift list because I wanted another set, so that way I can just kind of get a different, be able to listen to my mixes and stuff like that on a different set of monitors. The Atoms. Those are some decent budget, monitors as well. All right. So subs, not absolutely positively necessary, but if you want to get some of that bottom and you're rolling with these guys, actually the lows on the JBLs are not too bad, but if you want to really feel it, you're going to want to sub. And especially if you don't want to drive your monitors too hard, just so you can hear or feel the bass, you want to get a sub. Okay, not necessarily a necessity, not crucial. This is definitely more of a want. Okay, so along with your microphone, obviously you're going to need a stand, pop filters. Definitely get the reflection filter or something similar by another company. Because if you're recording at home and you don't have like a lot of treatment stuff like that, it'll cut down on sound bouncing back into your mic. Okay. All right, let's talk cables. Me personally, I do not like to skimp on cables. This is one area I will say that take the time to go ahead and spend the money now, and these cables will be with you for a long time. I like Mogamis. The Mogamis that I'm using now are the same ones that I purchased like 15 years ago, and they rock out. Don't skimp out on cables, okay? Because some cables are going to have better shielding than others and reject noise. These are gold plated as well. Excellent cables. Now, you're also going to need an iLock, for your software. If you get the laptop, the MacBook Pro, you're going to want to get this hub, so that hub is actually just just optional if you have a laptop. All right. Now, remember I was talking about you're going to want to record to an external drive. Go on Amazon, get yourself a Samsung, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, whatever, solid state drive. Install it in one of these inexpensive cases and keep it moving. It's going to be it's going to be a lot cheaper than trying to get an external hard drive, say, off of Sweetwater or one of those other sites, one of those fancy named ones, and they do the same exact damn thing, and you're just paying for the packaging. It's like you could do this yourself. This is easy. All right. Pro Tools. You're going to need something to record with, and I say, as a new artist, everybody is using Pro Tools. Just about everybody that is serious about music should have Pro Tools in their toolkit. I have Pro Tools. I also use Luna, and I also have access to Ableton Live, right? So, and I use them for different purposes. Pro Tools, I do all my mixing and mastering. Also do mixing of video and everything like that inside of Pro Tools. Music production side, I use Ableton Live. But you can also record in Ableton Live as well, vocals. You can even use FL Studio if you want. It doesn't matter. But Pro Tools, get the subscription if you're on a budget. It's only $10 a month, and just save up until you eventually get to the point where you can go ahead and purchase the perpetual license. That's what I did. I got the perpetual license so that way I don't like subscriptions personally. Like I said, Ableton Live, you can get the intro version, gives you 16 tracks. If you're just recording yourself at home, 16 tracks is more than enough to get by with what you need to do. If you need more tracks, obviously, go to the standard and go from there. All right. So cost estimates, so just basically off the things that I showed you and everything, if you were to go with, let's say, the MacBook Pro and leave out the subwoofer, you could, roughly around $2,200, you could get yourself a budget studio setup. And this would be a nice system that would actually, you would get a lot of years of use out of it. Okay. These are my resources. And the reason why I put this in here is because I am going to make this, I want to call it a PowerPoint, but I did it in Keynote. But I'm going to go ahead and dump it down into a PDF file and attach it to the video so that way, or make it available to you guys so that way you can download it and check it out for yourself and reference it, especially as you get around to it. Keep in mind, tax season is coming up, so hey, you're looking at getting some gear and everything like that. Hey, use that tax refund to go ahead and finance your dream, and just go for it. And once again, thank you for your time. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Like and subscribe, and also check out my latest album that I just released, Eclectic Soul. It's available on all streaming platforms. All right, talk to you later.